Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Spawn Point. On Ep.6 now, I can count my fingers correctly. And we have our second special guest for The Spawn Point, which is TimeswithT, who's right down there.
Hello.
And we have Andy, who's back from his absence last time,
Hello again.
not wearing his sunglasses this
It's good
time.
to be back. Yeah, it's as you can see, I've caught a bit of a tan here, but you know.
And Steve, who is apparently very tired, who is right down there.
I'm here.
So our topic for this week is all about pre-ordering games, and it couldn't come at a better time, really, because Watch Dogs is coming out at midnight today. So, with that being said, there is a lot of bundles for Watch Dogs, like pre-order bundles that you can get, special editions, and lots of other games have them as well. But there's also been a lot of problems with Watch Dogs, and other games have had problems in the past with their launch, in terms of bugs, in terms of problems, in terms of it not being a very good game and people wasting money. So we're going to talk about whether we should really be pre-ordering games and whether it's a smart decision to make. Andy, I know that you've said stuff about this in the past, so if you want to start us off with your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I'm personally really against the idea of pre-ordering games unless there's been any sort of solid reviews on them. Because I've really been stung in the past with thinking, hey, there's this cool game coming out. I really want that. Paid some money for it and got it, and I was like, oh, what the hell is this? I mean, I'm talking about Aliens Colonial Marines as one of the main offenders here. So yeah, that's really my input into it.
What inclined you to want to pre-order a game? When you did on that particular?
It was actually Eurogamer going there and playing their demo of the game there, and then just looking at it and just having a really good time playing it, and just saying, okay, yeah, I've enjoyed what they've put together here, and I want to play the full game and see what the single player is like as well. And they obviously made a massive lie about it, and they didn't ship the game with the content that was shown at Eurogamer, which was really bad of them. And yeah, I feel like there's wasted money.
Okay. And T, what about you? Have you ever pre-ordered something or thought about pre-ordering something?
I have. I've pre-ordered quite a bit of games, especially when I used to play, back on the Xbox 360 and whatnot. That was a little bit before they started, having all these bundles and stuff. Back then they really didn't do much as far as extra content, as far as, bundles and stuff like that. Normally, like, you would get the game, and that would be about it. Now with like pre-order stuff, you can get extra stuff by buying it early or whatever. I'm not against pre-ordering. I don't think it's like the best thing to do. Personally, I see why it's appealing. You get to play the game as soon as it comes out. And if it's a good game, then awesome. If not, then it's kind of sucks. But I don't know. Personally, for me, I like to just wait until I get to see gameplay on YouTube and Twitch and all these different websites to really see if it's something that interests me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've found it to be sort of actually a good example of this is COD games. So
Right.
Every Call of Duty game since Call of Duty 4, I've ended up buying, and I think it was around Modern Warfare 3 actually was the first game that I ever bought on midnight release. So I didn't pre-order the game, but I still bought it when it first came out, because what I discovered was I'd pre-ordered the games before that, but I always got them, I would have got them earlier if I'd went to the midnight release. So with that in my head, I went and Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, all the ones since Modern Warfare 3. I basically went to the midnight release of them, and since the first time of doing it, it was kind of more, not the game, but it was more the experience of waiting outside a game store for this game, and like everyone else out there, everyone's really like excited to get their hands on it as soon as possible. People are just, people are talking about the game in the queues, and it's kind of a fun experience. And then I kind of made like a tradition out of it. So every year I would go to the midnight release with somebody, and we would all go, and it was more than just kind of just buying the game. Like, you wouldn't it wouldn't be the same if you just went to the store in the middle of the day and bought the game. It's a bit different than that. It's a bit different experience. And so we just made this kind of tradition out of it. And even though, like last year, even though I knew the game wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to enjoy the game as much as I probably should have for the price I'm paying, I still went and did it anyway, just because it kind of felt hard to break tradition. So that's kind of and I think a lot of other people as well have this kind of tradition aspect. It's like, well, I always pre-order games, so it's kind of a thing I do, and I enjoy that anticipation of getting it, as soon as it comes out.
I mean, I don't really pre-order games anymore, so do they not do like a midnight release on something like Steam, or?
They do. I've pre-ordered stuff on Steam before, and what you can do with some games is you preload it, so you install it, and then you can play it as soon as it's available.
Yeah, basically you install it, and then as soon as midnight hits, whatever, you can play it. So it's like a midnight release, but kind of a little bit sooner because you don't have to go to the store and get it.
Yeah.
And I always had this problem, which was that when I queue up for these midnight releases, I'd always go in with the mindset of like, okay, I'm going to go to the store, I'm going to buy the standard edition, because I don't need anything more than that. And the more I'd wait in the queue, I would see on the side of the store, I would see, if you get the special edition, you get this and you get this, and they're all things that really aren't that great, but you kind of feel like, I'm missing out, so you end up buying the
it's a special edition.
It's like, you get a free camo or something. You're like, I need that. No, I don't need that. And that's the kind of trap I fell in. But I don't do it as much anymore. And I was considering to get Watch Dogs on.
Yeah, I saw you on your Twitter, and I was like, "Why are you doing this, Matt? Why?"
And then so I was gonna get Watch Dogs at midnight release, and then I started hearing things, and I was looking on the Ubisoft forums, and I saw this thing about this game-breaking bug, that was earlier today. I saw this thread about this bug that loses all the progress from this guy that got the game early, and then another guy was like, I've had the same problem, and then I thought, I might write an article about this. And so I wrote about it, and as the more I looked at it, I found that this was a consistent problem with the Xbox One and PC versions of Watch Dogs. And I thought, well, this could happen at release. I don't want to play through a game and lose it all, so I might as well wait to see how bad of an issue this really is and whether it gets solved. And I've personally become more patient with waiting for games, not trying to pre-order them. But Steve, we haven't heard anything from Steve yet. So
I kind of felt that my voice was going to go because I ain't spoke, because that's not like me. I usually talk low.
So I didn't want you to kind of, I wanted to get Steve's opinion on this as well. Have you ever thought about pre-ordering something, or pre-ordered something, or bought a special edition of something?
I'm a kind of a sucker when it comes to pre-order games, because when a new game comes out, I don't always look at the reviews, and if I do look at the reviews and people slate it off, I always go to midnight release, and I always buy it, and I think, this game's amazing. Everyone's in the queue going, it's a load of crap, buy this game instead. And I get it home. It was like Call of Duty Ghosts, for instance. I bought that on, midnight release, and not very good.
Well, yeah, actually, me and you both pre-ordered the special edition of GTA, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last special edition I ever bought, and I don't use any of the things that came with it. I don't. Yeah, it's like, it comes with a free jet that you've, what's it called?
Yeah, Blimp. I had that as well, but I've never used it. But the thing is, like, with me and pre-orders, like, Battlefield 3 that came out, you get this free camo. I never even used a camo. Like, but the thing with me
it's just the thought of, like, it's
because it's
more.
Free. Like, if for instance, like, I could buy something and a mug would be chucked in with it, I would never use the mug. It's just because it's free and I get to have something that's free.
That's shameless.
That was such a stealthy plug as to, like, if I was to buy this mug,
I didn't intentionally do that. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, if someone said you could buy something and get a screwdriver free, I'd buy it because it's something that I would never use, but it's free. Do you know what I mean? It's just that thing, like.
I don't think they're going to start selling games with screwdrivers.
It's,
do you know what I mean? It's just a free thing.
What's it? It's Home Improvements. The Home Improvements video game with a free screwdriver. Okay, that's
Yeah, it's just
Going
because
back to the 90s.
it's free. That's the reason why I do it for, and I'm the most sucker for that. Mind you, I did pre-order.
But is it really free? Because think about this: if it says, "Oh, you get a free camo or free item or free downloadable content," is it really free? Because you're paying more to get that edition, so you're technically paying for it. It's a little bit like free to play, and then charging you with microtransactions. It's not really free because
I think the reason why game developers put things on pre-orders and stuff like that is because they know that people will still buy the game, and like people like me, you know. And even though I got shocked from Call of Duty Ghost, when the next Call of Duty comes out, I'm afraid to say I will go and pre-order it. It's just because it's a tradition for me. Like you said, it's just I don't know. It's something.
I'm breaking that tradition this year. I'm not buying the game.
See now,
I'm officially breaking that
I
tradition.
don't think I could break it. I think I would go insane if I was to break that tradition. Done it since Call of Duty 4.
I'm just having a look at just because Watch Dogs are so new now. I'm just having a look on the Steam page for the digital deluxe edition, or in fact no, just the pre-purchase offer, and it's the Bloom Weapons Pack, which has got less recoil on shots. So they're basically saying, hey, pre-order the game and we'll make it easier for you. And I'm not okay with that. Why spend money on a game that I don't know what it's going to be like potentially, and them going, hey, you know what, we're going to make it easier for you. You can just have all of this easiness. Just have it all.
Can I just say something though? Have they recently put that in since all these bad reviews come out? Or has that always been there?
I presume it's always been there.
Oh, I thought they were trying to save themselves by, hey, come and buy this and we'll give you this.
No, I mean, like, the digital deluxe edition as well has got, 20 minutes of extra gameplay, an hour of exclusive content, and it's like, that's just selling, like, day one DLC, essentially.
The thing with me is, I was very nearly inclined to buy that game because it does look awesome, but there's a lot of problems with it. You know, I was going to buy it on pre-order, and I will admit that, like, I was going to, but...
I think a lot of people, they have this fear of missing out. So if all of your friends go and buy a game and they're all talking about it,
exactly,
and you haven't got the game, then you can't really get involved in the conversation. So you want to make sure you've got the game as soon as possible, so that you know as much about the game as you can. I think that comes with age, though. As you get older, that becomes less of an issue. But when you're at school and stuff, or high school, or whenever you're in any kind of education and you're just with your friends on a day-to-day basis, and they're if they're all talking about video games and you go, oh, I haven't got that game yet, or you don't know much about it, then people want to be the first person there, so they have the first-hand knowledge and can be like, everyone listen to me, I know the most about this game. I think that's kind of another issue as well. Maybe
I'm still a child inside them because
Steve's a fully grown child.
It's because my friends have bought it, and when I was at work today, my friends were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and get Watch Dogs tonight." I was like, "I'm gonna go get it as well." Like, it was just I had to jump on the train, Yeah. But I didn't realise all this bad stuff until I looked, and then I heard some other stuff as well, and I was like, "No, that can't be true."
I mean,
I didn't want to believe it.
I think that depends on your workplace, because my workplace is not to insult it too much, is older people, so there's not really that many people that play video games there.
Never know, they might surprise you. They might have some.
Well, there's definitely a couple of people, but my department where I sit, they're all a good few years older than me.
You never know; they could break out with the PS3 controller playing Ghost. I just got myself a 10-kill streak.
And I don't think so somehow. But I mean, I'd be interested to hear how. If at all it differs in America with people. I assume it's similar with people going around like Steve was saying, oh, I'm gonna get this pre-order, it's gonna be awesome with all the games. I assume it's the same over there too?
Yeah, back when Skyrim first came out, I was in high school, I was my senior year of high school, and I didn't get the game when it first came out. I was like, I'll just wait for it or whatever. And literally the whole school, it seemed like, got this game because it's the next big thing, and that's all the talk was about for the whole week. So as Matt was saying, it was everyone's talking about it. I don't have it, so I really can't chime in and talk anything about it because I don't know anything about it. So I think pre-ordering in that sense really makes it a community-based thing, especially when you're in school and stuff like that.
So have you ever pre-ordered a game and then, or yeah, you've got the game and you thought, why did I buy this straight away? I feel like I've wasted my money. Have you ever?
Yes and no. It's kind of weird with what's that? Titanfall. I got the beta, and I was like, this is a cool game, you know, I'll buy it. So I pre-ordered it, right? And I was like, I played it for, you know, maybe a day, then I haven't touched it since. So I guess that could kind of work for it. But I mean, with the beta, I knew what I was going to buy. So it's like not exactly pre-ordering without anything.
So I guess that would be a good variable to throw in here, is that, is it acceptable to pre-order a game, or is it a good idea to pre-order a game if you have played a demo of the game and liked it, or a beta of the game and liked it, and then pre-order it? Is that a bit of a different story? Are you more likely to be satisfied with what you get, and is that, I don't know, does that change things?
I'd say it does, personally.
Again, it harks back to my Colonial Marines experience. It depends how true to the actual final game the demo is. I would be more happier to see like a solid review of like a game beforehand, but like stuff with embargoes on the day of release, and that really would put me off pre-ordering something. However, like if someone had reviewed it a good few weeks before and they're saying, "Yep, it's a good game," then I would be more likely to go, "Okay, I'm going to put the money down to pre-order."
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna challenge that with that it really does depend on who's reviewing it and what the source is from, because there are some people that get bribed to give good reviews. There are some sources that will have a completely different experience, or have a completely different preference or opinions to you. So I think it's very hard to judge based purely on reviews.
It depends who you like. If you either watch or read the same person's review over and over, and you get to know what type of games that they're into and how honest they are about the reviewing, and if you can trust the person doing the review, or it's good to use a couple of sources, then that's a good solid indication of the game. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. If it was Joe Blogs from somewhere that's just reviewed the game, and it's like, I don't really know you, and you're saying it's
some random guy says, I hate the game,
most amazing thing ever, and you read something else and they're like, it's shocking, dude, just don't touch it with a barge pole.
And the reason I bring that up is, if you've ever looked at anything on Metacritic before, sometimes you'll get a game that is the critics will say it's amazing, it's the 10 out of 10, 100%, go out and buy this game, what are you waiting for? And then all of the users will have a completely opposite opinion, and they'll be like, this game is incomplete, it does not live up to expectations. And you've got this whole, sometimes you get big gaps between what people like me and you, like, just regular gamers just putting their say in, compared to paid professional reviewers who sit down for weeks and complete the game and then do a full-fledged review.
Yeah.
There's this kind of, sometimes there's a big gap, and it's like, well, who do I trust? Do I trust all these people? Do I trust those?
Yeah, and I guess some games these days have been sort of pushing their games into trying to get these high Metacritic scores. So like, take SimCity, for example. Like, if you just played that for a couple of hours, then the critics were like, yeah, that's a really good game. But then when people were playing it for hours and hours on end, it was like, oh, hang on, there's all of these different bugs here. Like, this one worker, he just goes to the closest house. He doesn't have his own house, and stuff doesn't work in it. It's pretty broken. Whereas you wouldn't see that unless you'd been playing it for a good 20, 30 hours. Yeah, so I guess that flips that on the head.
I'm going to go back to Steve saying about his tradition with buying the Call of Duty games. And I'm not trying I'm not trying to single you out or trying to target you. I just wanted to get your take on... I just kind of wanted to pick your brain about this particular thing, which was that when you have... with a game like Call of Duty Ghosts, I know you've said to me before that you're really disappointed with the game, how it turned out, and you thought it could have been a lot better. Do you feel that, with that being said, and then you buying it before, do you ever feel any kind of buyer's remorse? Do you feel as if you've wasted your money there, or?
No, I there's certain aspects to Ghost that I don't like, but there's other aspects, like I haven't played it in probably about 2 months. I went back to it the other night and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but then I played it for about half an hour and then I just completely went off it again. But
You're a really hard person to pinpoint, because you'll go from absolutely hating the game to, and I have evidence of this because Steve made a video ages ago and it was talking about, I don't understand all the hate for Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, this game's amazing. Like, this is such a good game. And we fast forward to two months later, and then he's on Skype and he's typing away. He's going, I hate this game. It's terrible. Like, I wish I never bought it. And now he's saying again,
no,
oh, I really enjoyed it. So
with Call of Duty, I kind of, it's a love-hate relationship with me. I can play it for about an hour and then it's just like, I just want to, But no, I don't have any buyer's remorse at all. Like, I don't regret buying it.
What about regret buying the special edition where you get a camo that you never used?
Yeah.
So would you do that this year if Activision was saying, oh, you get I'm trying to think of something. You get 5 extra bullets in your gun or multiplayer?
Yeah, I know that sounds as ludicrous as it sounds. Yeah, I would. But
I'm about to flip the table over here. What are you playing at?
No.
Do you know what? He's like it's like he is like the fantasy consumer for every game developer. It's like we could throw out anything we want and he'll just lap it up. He'll buy it. He loves it.
No,
you're just a sucker
you know what I'm like with Call of Duty. I love my Call of Duty games. I do.
They could give you Call of Duty 4 and then basically change a few textures and be like, yeah, this is brand new. And you'll be like, where do I buy it? And start throwing money.
I'd be like a kid lost in a candy shop. I wouldn't know where to go or what to do. I'd be like, oh my God.
But with Call of Duty, they don't even change the textures. It's just like, here's a new game. But
let me put it this way. If Ghosts to come out now, and, before the, with all these problems, I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have bought it.
You say that, but then tomorrow you might change your mind.
No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have bought it at all.
But I think, and talking about how you'd buy it and you probably end up buying it anyway. I think it's not just tradition; it's also having brand loyalty. If you're loyal to a certain game franchise or something, you might just be like, you have. Anything they put out, you'll buy just because you're infatuated by that game or that series, or you're so loyal to those particular developers or publishers that you just want to buy any game. Think any game they put out must be good because they've never disappointed me in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it because I trust them.
Let me put it this way.
I think it's a combination of tradition and loyalty.
Yeah, I can see that.
But let me put it this way. If, for instance, 10,000 people had said, do not buy this next Call of Duty because it's a load of rubbish, I would go and buy it. I would pre-order it. I'd buy it, whatever. Because
why?
It's like Matt said, it's loyalty.
And he's just going to have a meltdown in a minute.
No, it's just... it's the
if
fact
10,000 people are going, look, you're basically buying a steaming pile of poop. And you're like, but it's brand loyalty. I need to buy this.
It's got the words Call of Duty on it. Like, we've got to buy... Just like write Call of Duty on a piece of tape.
Call of Duty. I'll buy it.
It just says like
I'll buy it.
It says like Call of Duty, and it's just stuck with some sellotape on a piece of on a piece of turd, and it's just handed to you, and you go, "Oh my God, it's amazing!"
I don't think I'll go that far.
Look at the realism.
No. But I don't know what it like. I think it's just down to, like Matt said, it's loyalty. I've been playing Call of Duty since COD 4, properly, online. And I've bought every single game, even though they were like, "Don't buy that game," but I do.
I mean, I can understand that in a way, because obviously, like as soon as the next Call of Duty comes out, everyone just goes in and jumps into the new Call of Duty, and then everyone else is left behind, and there's not many people playing it as well. So I guess it's that social thing. So everyone's jumping into the new one, and so you have to
Right.
jump into that to go in any further.
What about like I don't know about like what it is for you guys, but like when I used to play Call of Duty, it used to be all community based. Like as much as I hated playing the game, it would be fun because I could hop on with 5 other friends and we could just mess around and we could just play and talk, and it would basically be like hanging out, but in our separate rooms or whatever. So
That's
Yeah.
what it's like for me. Like,
Yeah.
I won't go on Ghost anymore like, on my own. But if someone rings me up on the phone and says, "Hey, do you want to come on for Ghost or whatever? Do you want to come do some zombies?" Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
right.
And that's why I buy the game
I
every
think
year.
that's the predicament with not only Call of Duty games, but just any games, when it comes to pre-ordering games in general, is that it's this whole thing that if all of it goes back to that whole thing about missing out and your friends, and if they're all playing the game and you're like, oh, well, I only have the previous game, I'm going to have to play that on my own because no one's playing it anymore. So if everybody... and that sucks if you're having to play this game and then all of your other friends, you've got no one to play with because no one's playing that game anymore.
Mm.
And everyone's playing this new game and they're all playing with each other having fun, and you're having no fun playing your own, this old game, because you got used to it. Then you want something new, you want something fresh, and you don't, you want to have a game that you can play with your friends. And Call of Duty is the biggest kind of,
It's a bro game.
yeah, it's one of these things where it's not like taken... You can't really take it seriously in a hardcore kind of serious level. It's more a game for the enjoyment factor. Like it's not real. It's not like the most realistic shooter. It hasn't got the most features. It doesn't get. It's not completely different with each installment of the game. It's one of those games you kind of sit down with your friends and you can have a bit of fun messing around and shooting on it, and you can, but playing on your own isn't, as I would say personally, isn't as fun to play on your own.
I have to say, I actually played that on my own a good amount. I got Black Ops 1, I think it was, while I was at uni. And yeah, I didn't really have any other friends on the PlayStation Network because most of my friends are Xboxes. So I didn't really play it with anyone. The only time I played it was the co-op online. So with like you could do the split screen. I think it was Black Ops 1.
And
You could do this local sort of co-op but play online. That was really the only time I played that.
You just reminded me, actually, when I went for the midnight release of Modern Warfare 3, and this is a very good point about pre-ordering that we haven't really covered. Obviously, it's about, it's the whole thing about playing with your friends and not being left out, and those are all factors. But there's the other thing of competing with friends and trying to be a higher level than your friends, or be further through the game than your friends. And a lot of people are very competitive with all of their friends. They want to be better than them. And when I went to the midnight launch of Modern Warfare 3, this is going to sound so sad, but I was at university at the time, and the game came out on a Tuesday night, so we had lectures on the Wednesday, and basically when I got it, we started playing it. I had 3 people in my room when we first went out and bought it. We were playing it on my system, and my system was playing Call of Duty games for 24 hours straight. And so what happened was I was playing it for a bit, then my I didn't get any sleep, so I was really tired, but I had to go to my lecture. It's like economics or something. I was like, ugh. And so I gave the controller to my friend, and then he took over and was playing for me. I come back from my lecture, he's still playing, and then I take it from him. Another friend comes in, swaps it with me, and we just do that, taking turns with like each class we've got to go to. We just swap, and then we start playing it. So I ended up almost prestiging it in the first day of it being out. So all these people were talking about the game, and I came to the room and they said, "Oh, Matt, you've got the game. What level are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm level 53." And they're like, "What?" I was like, "We're level 18." I was like, "Oh, yeah, well."
I'm just hardcore.
And apparently, I didn't look like I had. When I came in, I just looked like absolute crap. Like I didn't. I just came in. I was like, "Ugh."
We've all done it though. We've all stayed up, way more than what we should do. I mean, I remember I did a 3-day stint on Black Ops 2, I was just drinking energy drinks, nothing
Oh,
else.
I
didn't
went
eat.
through that phase.
Yeah, nothing else. I wouldn't eat in. I just went through 3 days, a 3 day stint of just drinking energy drinks after energy drink after energy drink.
The problem is you get so angry though. After a while, you just stop enjoying the game and you're just doing it as a chore. Like,
Yeah.
I hate this game, but I have to keep playing because I'm not going to get outranked by my friends.
I remember.
That level up.
Yeah.
I remember when I bought Black Ops 2 and I was trying to compete to get onto the top of the leaderboards and capture the flag. I did it.
What, the very
and it
top is in the world?
Yeah, in the world. I got to 9 in the world when the game first came out, right? 9 in the world, and 10 minutes later I got beat, and then I never got back up again.
I can say I never went that far in it. I mean, I used to play all the time, like Counter-Strike, like 1.6. Jesus, that's going back a while. But that obviously was never ranked. But we've massively been derailed from the topic.
I know, massively.
haven't
Well,
we?
it's not massively derailed because it's still talking about. I was talking about pre-orders, and when I pre-ordered the game and played it for several days straight, it's kind of. It's still relevant, and it kind of links with the whole thing about competing with your friends. Is another aspect of wanting to pre-order is that you want to be at the best out of your group of friends because you might want to just brag about it, for bragging rights or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that at some time or another one of us has been in that situation where you just want to prove that you're better at that game than the other people you know. So. For example, with Steve being number 9 in the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, that's so bad. But I tell you something else though, right? When the pre-orders came out for PS4 and Xbox One, I seriously had to really stop myself from buying a PS4 or an Xbox One.
Oh no, I originally said I was going to pre-order an Xbox One, and this actually, even though we've mocked you, Steve, for like your loyalty to Call of Duty. Regardless of all of the bad stuff that we heard about E3 at Xbox, I was like, I'm still buying one. Even though I knew that all of this stuff, like, you're going to always have to be connected to the internet and Connect has to be, connected to the system. I was like, yeah, I'm still buying it.
Yeah.
But then I didn't pre-order it. I bought it later on.
Actually, that's another disappointment I've had with pre-orders. I pre-ordered a PS4, and that. Like, literally, the only time it's been on in the last week or so, or even month, is to watch DVDs or something like iPlayer. That has literally been it.
I think it's the lack of
one.
games, really, isn't it? That's the difference with pre-ordering a console, is that there's no games when it first comes out. And
Well, it's not that for me, really, the games. It's the fact for me, like, my PlayStation, apart from I went on the other night, I haven't used it in 3 months. And it's just because I don't get any time to play it, and when I do get time, I don't want to play it because I'm too tired. So I'm in a vicious circle. But yeah,
yeah. So
a bit of a pause.
yeah. No, I think with that being said, I'm going to do what I tend to try and usually do for these episodes. Is that at the end of every episode, just have a summary question that kind of just sums up all of our views about this particular subject. So for pre-ordering games, are you going to continue to pre-order games and their ridiculous special bundle packages, Andy?
No.
You're not going to do that?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No.
Steve, I think I really already know the answer to this one.
But I want to answer anyway.
But I'm going to ask
Ask me the
you
question.
for some reason anyway. Okay, so are you going to continue to pre-order games? And are you going to buy the ridiculous special bundles, Steve?
Yes, I will.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we edit in a picture of Jean-Luc Picard just face palming over everyone else's faces here?
I could make that happen. Yeah.
I will do it. I will.
Okay, and T, are you do you reckon you'll ever pre-order games in the future and buy any of the special editions for games?
Probably not, no. Unless there's like a beta or something that I thoroughly enjoyed the game.
So I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, well, I still have to give my view, but yeah, you probably are going to be outnumbered, so I got your hopes up there. No, actually, it's kind of a half and half. I'm not going to buy any special editions anymore. I've kind of vowed to myself I'm not going to buy any limited edition, deluxe edition for any games, but I do plan on getting Destiny, which is coming out in September. I'm not going to pre-order it, but I'm probably going to get it fairly early to release. I might go to the midnight release of it. I might get it the day it comes out. But other than that exception, there's no other game that this year at least, that I plan on pre-ordering or getting any ridiculous edition for. So yes, Steve, for the most part, you are outnumbered. And it seems that Activision and all of the Call of Duty developers have got you right where they want you, because you'll just buy anything. But I did forget to mention at the beginning, when we started doing this episode, that TimeswithT is a partner with Vector Gaming, and he does have a YouTube channel. He does a lot of Minecraft, and he does vlogs from time to time as well, if I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah.
So if you want to check out his channel, I'll do what I did last time. I'll put an annotation around his face. So click on that face and it will take you to his channel, and then you can check it out all for yourself.
He also does a lot of live streams as well, so you might want to go check that out also.
Yep. Monday through Sunday live streams.
Monday to Sunday?
Wednesday through Sunday. It used to be Monday to Sunday, but it's
that was extreme, like every day.
I usually watch some. I watched quite a few of them anyway, because I think this guy he live streams quite a lot. It's just like, he's got some real good stuff going on. I couldn't do it. That's just my honest opinion on that one. I couldn't do it, but
so yeah, click on the annotation, which is right around down there, and that has been all from this episode of The Spawn Point. But we will see you next episode. What the topic is, who knows? And hopefully we will have another special guest. And also, what are your thoughts about, are you also siding with Steve on this one, or are you siding with all of us? Let us know in the comments section what you think about pre-ordering and special editions, and whether you do that or not. And also letting us know in the comments section whether you think Steve is an absolute lunatic and that it's just gone too far. Whatever it is, let us know in the comments section, and we will see you guys next week.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.